Hello duelists, T-Rose is here with another video, another meta-analysis and breakdown. I hope you guys are doing well. If you are not, definitely get some help or talk to someone. It always makes me feel better. But let's get into the breakdown. So we have YCS Cancun, Mexico, top 32. We have Kashtira with 25%, so I guess this deck really needed to get banned. Maybe that's why it was so well timed. And then we have Unchained actually getting second. So Unchained maybe wasn't the best deck. Maybe it was actually Kashtira all along as the real true best deck of this format. But at the same time, YCS Cancun was a small event. It was very reminiscent of an ARG. So I don't know if it's the best representation. Not saying it doesn't count or anything, but I definitely could consider that this was a unique tournament for where it was and how small it was. But we had actually Flu being the third most top deck as well. And then we have Pearly not actually for the first time getting like one of the top three spots. It's always been Unchained, Kashtira, and Pearly. So it is sad to see, but we have RescueAce and Flu just doing way better than we ever thought they could based on the last two. Alright, so we're going to go through these lists. I am going to do some comparisons, so when I see that there's like two Flu lists out that are in top 32, I'll compare them, maybe first and 32, or maybe Max's second place list with another top 32. We'll get into that right now. So here we're starting with first place, Floowandereeze. What a cool deck that has not been hit nearly as bad as on Master Duel, which is very interesting, even though it's still good on Master, or was still good on Master Duel when I played Tier Elements, but enough of that. We have 3-Dimension Shifter. Wow, what a surprise. Is that card broken or what? Okay, anything interesting? I mean, I feel like they have to play the Smorg, Bird of Perfection, so I'm assuming that'll be in the second list. This list is actually running 2 thrusts with the 1 of Evenly, so kind of like you have 3 Evenly. Not a lot of Omni Negates, so I understand the logic behind that. We also have a Harpy's Featherstorm for going first in case we get hand trapped. Hopefully we get Ash Blossomed over Impermed when that happens, but we also have a Talents 2 for going second. I'm assuming, yes, we are playing Zeus and a Rise Heart, so that was definitely more geared for the Kashtira matchup. I doubt he would still play Talents for the thrust going forward now that that deck is getting hit, and that's one of the best cards versus it. And then in the side deck, we have 3 Nibiru, 3 Ash, very good hand traps. If you can't fit them in the main, obviously we don't want Harpy's Featherstorm going first. Talents probably goes out, Thrust maybe goes out, Evenly goes out. That's already 5 cards. Definitely could consider maybe a book too, or even shifters. So those codes probably go in. Even going first, or just for going second. And then even going first, we have the Harpy's Featherstorm 2 more, because that card's just broken. Obviously, it's just a floodgate. 2 Book of Eclipse, that will probably change. Post list, Herald of the Abyss probably won't change. And then 3 Cosmic Cyclones over the Lightning Storms and Harpy Feather Duster, but apparently he didn't need it because he still beat the RescueAce opponent without those cards. And then we have Flu, definitely needs to load. So this is another top 32 list. Let's see if we can spot any differences. Yo, did these guys know each other? Because their lists are exactly the same from what I can see, besides a Called by the Grave and Harpy's Feather Duster. Wow, and 3 Cosmics. So more spell trap removal, especially with the Evenlies. That's pretty much the only difference between the two lists. And then let's go on to second place, Max Reynolds with the Fenrir's and the RescueAce main. Not surprised by the hand trap selection. Nibiru is very strong. I think it will get stronger even after the ban list. Even though you might think that, well, it's really good versus Kashtira, I still think Nibiru is going to be pretty good just because of this deck. We have the 3 Impulse with only 1 Fire Engine, not playing the mini Graceful Charity in the deck. Hand trap, or not hand trap, but it goes well with Impulse. We are playing RescueAce HQ. I definitely think HQ is pretty good. HQ can be so nice sometimes, so I get that. I mean, the Ibli is really cool. I definitely like the Ibli combo, but I still feel like he probably would have got second if he didn't play Ibli, to be honest. I like the Fenrir's too. I think the Fenrir's are really solid. I wonder if he'll play Fenrir though, or if RescueAce, well, probably not, especially with the Sinful Spoils package, but maybe for Dortmund. I doubt we would see, unless, no, this list is post-ban list for Dortmund. So I doubt they're going to be playing 3 Fenrir because obviously Kashtira's out. We didn't even play Rise Heart though, so it's kind of interesting in the extra deck because no Rise Heart, no Zeus. RescueAce really has no room. We do have the 1-for-1, but we are getting a better 1-for-1 pretty soon here with the Sinful Spoils package. And then we have the 3 Druis Worms in the side. Something that we actually didn't really see at all besides Chris LeBlanc's Pearly third place list. Yeah, so it's interesting that, because I don't think they really talk or test that much, so it's interesting that like these two different really good players chose the same Druis Worm. Then we see 3 Econ. Yeah, definitely no Max is a fan of Econ. His group, him, Jeff, and Max, during the ARG format with Shadal's, they actually like revolutionized Econ, and it was kind of broken. So cool to see that again. I think they really like that card. And then we have 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 Lightning Storms. Definitely great cards for the mirror match. I definitely like these cards going into next format. I think they're going to be very powerful. Even Lab, getting good. Runic's just phased out so much. Cosmic is definitely losing value, and Anti-Spell's not a thing. And D-Barrier can't be hit by either, so why not play the one that gets more value? Then we have 3 Solemns for going first to protect our 4 back row from these 3 cards. Okay, now we're going into the other RescueAce list that got top 32, also running Ibly. So maybe Ibly was actually more essential than I'm giving it credit for. They both main Nibiru. One mains 2, the other mains 3. This deck only mains 1 Imperm. This deck mains 3. Because it's really hard with RescueAce, especially with building the Sinful Spoils deck, because it's just like if your Fire Hydrant gets Impermed, it's just so bad. Like, obviously, if you have Emergency, it gets better. But, like, you can just lose to 1 hand trap with this deck, so I definitely understand the designators. I think one of Book of Moon and one of Book of Eclipse was really weird. Definitely without Thrust, like, why even have 1 Harpy's Feather Duster? I mean, it's just like a lot of 1-0s. We have like 4 cards for going first. I definitely think they went overkill on going first with this deck. But you could justify it. I mean, like I just said, you can lose to 1 hand trap with this deck, but sometimes you can't. And I don't know if playing these cards when usually going first is the edge. Why are we going to have more main deck cards for going first when this deck is already so good at going first? Why not just have more main deck cards for going second, especially with the 3 Small Worlds? We're not running a Fire Kaiju or Lava Golem with the Small Worlds. So kind of interesting, especially when there's no Omni Negates. You'd think you might consider running the Fire Kaiju, because obviously your normal summon is kind of important. But yeah, that's pretty much all I would say. The extra decks look almost verbatim. I'm pretty sure there's nothing different besides the Appaloosa and Max Reynolds list. I don't notice much differences. Wonder how much he made Appo. Because I actually kind of like Appo. This deck played Anima. I don't think Max played Anima. The 3 Lord of Heavenly Sky Prison is a really interesting side deck choice. Yeah, I'm just like, do I not know what this card does? You can activate this card revealed by while this card is revealed as effect field. Reset, spell a trap. You can special summon this card. Then, if you activated this effect while it was revealed, you can reveal 1 spell trap directly from your deck. Banish it during the unphase. Yeah, I don't know why he would side this card, Loki. Definitely for D-Barrier, right? But you can't activate it in the same turn, so yeah, definitely an interesting choice. Oh, yo, I just like skipped over the first effect and thought he was just using it to set a card. Yeah, it protects all your back row. Yo, that's pretty good. I definitely think it's definitely a neat tech for this deck because you are setting 4, so protecting your back row does seem pretty good. It's kind of like just playing it's kind of like the Runic card when you special summon it to protect your back row, but obviously it just prevents it outright. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's interesting. So we have 7 side deck cards for going first when we already have 4 main deck cards for going first. That is kind of weird. We have the Red Resonator for time, the Gaga Cowboy, so we have 2 time cards on the side. I think that's a lot of slots for very unlikely situation, especially this format. 2 Lightning Storms, and because we're maining the Harpy's Feather Duster and then 1 Nibiru, 42 card main deck. Unchained has changed that much. We have 41 cards. A lot of decks playing 3 Prosperity. This is pretty much the same list that we've seen like all the time. We're maining the Fenrir's. We're maining the Dark Contract spell, or the Unchained spell, sorry. We are maining the Dark Contract spell too. 2 Magnamuts, 2 Druid Worm. That card is going to 1, so that's why it has a 1 over it right now. 3 Ultimate Slayer. I was wondering if Ultimate Slayer is going to gain in a lot of popularity. I can see this card going up. It definitely gets better, I think, next format. And it is relevant in the OCG. I think XYZ Encore will probably phase out of the meta just because it doesn't hit as many decks anymore. And then we have the Live Twin extra deck monster. That's interesting. And 3 Magic Deflector as our going first side deck card of choice. This will really, I think the side deck is pretty interesting. The main deck is pretty staple. We have a Dragon Link list that actually got top 16. Ruben, who just won YCS Brazil. Yep, he's going to have to cut the Magnumus, so he can go straight to 41 because 4 cards get cut out of this list. But it's really similar to his previous list. He is playing both Chaos Emperors, or he's playing Chaos Emperor and I was going to say Lebaneer. I don't know why I thought Chaos Dragon Lebaneer was Chaos Emperor. But moving on. Anything interesting in the extra? I pretty much already commented on all of these cards. He is running the one of. He did side 2 Phantasmes, which is interesting, and the Mind Control Change of Heart. Yeah, good going second cards. This is what I was expect out of a typical side deck. A lot more going second cards. And then we have a... Oh, this was actually Andres I'm Back Torres. Let's go. You're back. I see that. Andres won a YCS with Despia, so he decided to go with the branded strategy again. We have playing the one of Gamma is crazy. 2 Ash. Is he playing Cross-Out Designator? So he's just running these weird ratios, probably because he's playing 45 cards, so there's no chance you would draw them together. But yeah, I mean 45 cards with the one of Driver, why not? 2 Ash, 2 Nibiru is kind of odd to me. 3 Super Poly, 2 Book of Eclipse, so a lot of 2 of so with this build. 3 Fenriers, we kind of see a trend of 3 Fenriers. Anything interesting about the extra deck? Wow, what is this card? Magnum, the Reliver. You can target 1 Polymerization or Fusion spell in your graveyard. Place it to the bottom of the deck, then draw 1 card. When another card effect is activated, quick effect, you can banish 1 Polymerization or Fusion spell, then target 1 card on the field and destroy it. Kind of a cool interruption when it just needs 1 monster special summon from the extra deck and 1 monster in hand. I don't believe you can super poly into it because it says monsters from either field, so you can actually super poly into it. But it is a cool fusion nonetheless. We're citing the 2 of Kurikara, 2 of Designator, so maybe that's why we have the ratios, just preparing for going first game 2 or 3. We have the 1 of Droll, like I said, for the Designators. Why not just run 3 Designator? But he probably has side patterns set out. He has to side the 1 D barrier. Oh wow, he's not playing Thrust, but he's siding 1 of D barrier. Is he playing Prosperity? No Prosperity. Yeah, I don't know why he would do that. Okay, and then there's no hate on Andres. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know the logic. Maybe there is side patterns that I'm just not aware of, and then there's this 1 of Droll for some reason. But a little confusing. All right, and then we have Rodolfo. I'm bad with names. Top 32. This is a Despia list. Wow, he's running this card. Fusion, duplication, target. Okay, so it just copies a fusion spell. Definitely a really cool trap, especially when you're running the Thrust. I think he was probably setting that with Thrust a lot. You just get to copy your branded fusion. It's pretty cool. We're running the branded Lost. We're running the gimmick Puppet Nightmare, of course. Definitely scared of this deck going into the next format. Anything cool about the extra deck? We're running 2 Synchros. Pretty cool. It is interesting to see people siding these mites over like a mind control for the change of heart, but obviously you get to attack them, which is pretty cool. But it is a monster effect. All right. Then we have a Rika. Love Rika. I think Rika is actually one of the best budget decks for a player. Probably not Sun Avalon Rika, like with the Genius Loki, but like the dude that got top 8 one time at with just pure Rika when Pearly won that YCS. I think it's a deck you can actually build for like less than $50. So it's definitely a cool deck. We are running the 1 Curry Kara in the main. Anything else? 3 Ash for going second. We have the Herald of the Abyss, the Harpy's Feather Duster, the 2 Thrust, the 1 Talent, and we're running the Small Worlds, which justifies our Curry Kara. Definitely cool to see that. To bridge, we have the 1 Lone Fire too, so there's a lot of bridge potential in here for the Small World. Always love lists with Small World because it's definitely a card I feel like will be mainstream one day. And not just a math mech. Okay, and then we have the 3 Ultimate Slayer again, so that's really cool to see. We have the 1 of Awai for the Thrust, which is basically just Mind Crush if I remember right. Yep. We have the 1 Natis for the Ultimate Slayer, and the Trouble Sunny, I'm assuming, for the Ultimate Slayer as well. And then we have the Live Twin in the side too. We have a Predaplant, Spider, Orchid. Okay, so it's an MST. Okay, so it's an MST plant. Probably for the Small World Bridge. I think that's really cool. You know, not just Rose Whip anymore. And then we have the 3 of Lancia, probably for the cash, and it would have been helpful for the flu matchup. Get rid of some of that recursion. Okay, and then we have Magiadium. Anything interesting about the Magiadium list? Oh, they're not running the Fire Guy at all. I really like that with Magiadium deck building. Not running the Fire Guy, the Fire Magiadium. We're running 2 Arrival. Only 2 Designator. Wow, it's weird. It's weird to see like Designator as a 2-of for me, especially when it's at 3. But we're siding the 3rd one, and we're playing the Gamma Seal. We are playing the regular Stardust for our Excel Synchro Stardust. Playing basically the essential links for the like to go hard with combos, because sometimes you do want to make the Epo. We aren't playing IP though, and we are playing the Sword Soul level 10 Synchro and Chaos Angel. Pretty cool list. Oh, and then Dinos got top 32. So that's what I'm saying. This YCS was crazy. A lot of top decks. As we can see, there was a lot of wild decks like Flu and Despio. Get back to that. Okay. So what can I say? Wow, we're running Frostosaurus. We're running the True King, the Disaster. This card used to be a 1, right? So that's pretty cool. Definitely think Dinos is just such a scary deck to go second verse. We're running 3 of Dark Hole. This list is really cool. I would definitely consider playing it, or like at least testing it. Only 2 Imperm. It's just a solid 40 card list. There's just so much potential with like 3 Fossil Digs. It's just like all Rhoda, like definitely a really consistent looking list. Besides obviously vanilla. Extra deck, we have the time card, running Penseg. Wow, inflicts piercing. I wonder if, well, this is probably just for a Cybers combo, I'm guessing. I wouldn't know. I've not played Dinos that much, but it is a pretty cool looking list. Then we have Pearly getting top 32. Like I said, Pearly actually did really underperform this list. This list is kind of crazy. We're running 3 thrusts. We're running 0 hand traps. So like I said, when you draw 2 to 4 cards with Sleepy, usually your opponent's just scooping anyway. But this list, we're not playing, we are playing 3 Ash, but that's it. So that's our only real like relevant Sleepy draw. We're not playing Valor or Moonlight Chill or anything like that. Instead, we're running Herald of the Abyss, 2 Talents, Lightning Storms. We're running 2 Field Spells. 2 Field Spell is a big trend in a lot of the top Pearly lists that I've seen lately. We have the extreme back row removal, which definitely helps with like the RescueAce matchup. These cards wouldn't be that good versus Unchained though, so I bet they ran into some issues with Unchained. That's what the 3 deck lockdowns for though. And the 3D barrier going first. Dogwood for time. Droll and Lockbirds and Nibiru. Nibiru's the nuts. Droll and Lockbirds probably just for like decks like Magiadium. And then we are not running a Contact C out, so every single one of these I do, every single Pearly list that we see is not running that Max C, Contact C out. Maybe that'll change. Maybe they won't run 2 Zeus since Unicorn is getting banned. But really, how like that just never happened to me, where like they really resolved Unicorn. So I don't know how likely that is to change. Zeus is probably just like sometimes like you get into a grind game and you attack with Zeus and then you overlay into another Zeus. Definitely comes up where I used to Zeus. But that is it. That is all the lists that I have today for you for the top 32 of YCS Cancun crazy events. And the next one is Dortmund. And then we get AGOV finally. So I'm excited for that. Have a great day, duelists, and peace.